Hello, dear students. Today, let's have the summary of the lesson The Making of a Scientist of Class 10th English in the Footprints Without Feet textbook. The Making of a Scientist is a story about the leading scientist Richard Ebright. He was a curious child right from the beginning years of his life. He used to collect butterflies as a child in kindergarten. Let's know how this curious child who collected butterflies went on to become one of the greatest scientists of the world. Ebright was the only child of his parents. They lived in north of Reading, Pennsylvania. Ebright wrote that there was nothing to do. He could not play football or baseball, but he could collect things. Ebright started collecting butterflies in kindergarten. He also collected rocks, fossils, and coins. Ebright became a stargazer and an eager astronomer. His mother encouraged him. She took him on trips. She also bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, and other equipments. At the age of 22, he excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work, which is published in a scientific journal. It was like a home run scored in the game of baseball. Ebright's mother said she was his first friend until he started school. She would bring home friends for him. He was her whole life after her husband's death. Richie was in third grade then. Ebright's mother would find work for Richie if he had nothing to do. It was for learning. He wanted to learn. He earned top grades in school. When he was in second grade, he had collected 25 species of butterflies. These were found around his hometown. Ebright's mother gave him a children's book. It was The Travels of Monarch 10. It told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America. This opened the world of science to Ebright. At the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migrations. They were asked to tag butterflies for research. It was being done by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of Toronto University, Canada. He started tagging monarch butterflies. Anyone who found a tagged butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart. The butterfly collecting season around Reading lasts 6 weeks in late summer. Chasing them one by one won't enable one to catch many. So Ebright raised a flock of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch and take her eggs. He would raise them in his basement from egg to adult butterfly. Then he would tag the butterfly's wings and let them go. Soon, Ebright began to lose interest in tagging butterflies. The reason was that there was no feedback. Only 2 butterflies had been caught. Their distance was not more than 75 miles from where he lived. In 7th grade, Ebright got a hint of what real science is. He entered a county science fair and lost. His entries were slides of rock tissues. He realized that the winners had tried to do real experiment, so he decided to do real experiments. He wrote to Dr. Urquhart for ideas. Back came many situations for experiments. These kept Ebright busy all through high school. These also led him to prize projects in county and international science fairs. For his 8th grade project, Ebright tried to find the cause of a viral disease. It killed all monarch caterpillars. He thought the disease might be carried by a beetle. He tried raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles, but he didn't get any real results, but he showed his experiment and won. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory. The theory was that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. The theory was that viceroys look like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds, but viceroys taste good to birds. So, the more they look like monarchs, the less they become a bird's food. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. It would eat all the monarchs it would get. This project was placed first in zoology division. It came third overall in the county science fair. In his second year in high school, Ebright began to research. It led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, it led to his new theory on the life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? Everyone assumed the spots were just ornamental. To find the answer, a bright and another student built a device. It showed that the spots were producing a hormone. It was necessary for the butterfly's full development. As a high school junior, he continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. In senior year, he grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture. He showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. The following summer, Ebright went back to the Department of Agriculture's lab. There he worked on the hormone theory. Finally, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. A year and a half later, Ebright got the idea for his new theory about cell life. He did so while seeing the X-ray photos of this chemical structure. The photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles. It was how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It is the blueprint for life. Ebright and his college roommate, James R. Wong, drew pictures and constructed plastic models. They made them to show how it could happen. Together, they later wrote the paper explaining the theory. Richard Ebright graduated from Harvard with highest honors. He also became a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. There he began experiment to test his theory. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding life processes. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. Ebright has other interests also. He became a champion debater and a public speaker. He also became a good canoeist and all round outdoor person. He is also an expert photographer of nature and scientific exhibits. Ebright also found someone to admire. He was Richard A. Weiherer, his social studies teacher. Ebright said about him that he opened his mind to new ideas. These things are a necessity in the making of a scientist. Start with a first rate mind, add curiosity, and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. Ebright had these qualities. The story teaches us that with perseverance, dedication, and hard work, any dream is achievable. Thank you.